Hello travelers and welcome back, and today we're going to be talking about something I love called Kendo, which can be Welcome back for this episode. I'm your host, William, and today, as I said, we'll be talking about Kendo. Kendo is a traditional martial art / sport that can be found in Japan. I've been doing Kendo since I was 20 years old, and I'm 36 now, so I've been doing it for quite a while with some breaks on and off. I love Kendo very, very much, and what you can see in front of me is a lot of the equipment that you need once you become proficient in Kendo. So first off, what is Kendo? Kendo means ken for sword and do or way or street. And Kendo originally comes from kinjitsu or sword and technique or waza ability. Now in Kendo you don't really use swords anymore, but it does come from the samurai time and ability to train to defend yourself. Kendo isn't really a sport, even though it's sometimes called a sport. It's more of an activity for the mind, the body, and the spirit. Kendo is practiced all over Japan, as well as all over the world. I started doing Kendo when I was in university, and I absolutely loved it. I joined the Kendo club at my university for a little extra credit. A lot of the equipment you see here looks very similar to what you can find in old pictures and drawings from when people were learning how to fight with swords hundreds of years ago in Japan. There are several fantastic sites online if you're looking to find out where you can find more information on the history of Kendo. A little bit about my history in Kendo is that I started in university. I joined the Kendo club at my school at the University of North Carolina at Charlotte, and I loved it. And it was taught by some of the city club members in Charlotte, part of the Charlotte Kendo Club. They were some of the best people I've met in my entire life, and still to this day I have contact with them. They taught me a lot about Kendo and about growing up, and really just helped me out, and I really would like to say first off thanks to you guys, because Charlotte Kendo is awesome. If you live in the Charlotte or Mecklenburg area and it's in the after time and the pandemic's all cleared up, for sure check them out, contact them if you're interested in Kendo. They are a great group of people. When I came to Japan, I picked up Kendo where I had left off, and I contacted a local dojo and I started there, and it was hard because my Japanese was not very good. There are some dojos around Japan that have English speakers, but if you want to get into Kendo, be ready to put in some work with the Japanese as well. But a lot of Kendoka or people who participate in Kendo are really, really nice people. Police officers, doctors, office workers, moms, anything you can imagine. And they are going to be more than enough and excited for you to be interested in something that they love. If you want to start Kendo, what do you need? So the first thing that you need if you want to start Kendo is a positive attitude. Kendo is not easy. Kendo can be very hard, but it's really worth the effort in my opinion. Some people go into it like, I'm gonna be a samurai, I'm gonna be a ninja. But that's not what Kendo is, and I would strongly suggest don't go into Kendo thinking that. Kendo, like a lot of the other dos, Judo, Aikido, Karate, which isn't a do, Kyudo, the traditional martial arts of Japan, all have a sports aspect of scoring points and competition, but their end goal is not that. So if you want that, just be ready to get broken. It's fun to win a tournament, to win a match, but you're in it for the long game, to really perfect yourself, your technique, and to help others do the same. When you first start Kendo, what you're gonna need, like I said before, is a positive attitude and a will to learn, and the ability to sweat. Kendo can be very, very sweaty. As you can see in front of me, there's a lot of equipment. When you first start off Kendo, you contact your dojo. All you're gonna need is some athletic attire, probably long pants and a shirt that you can get sweaty in. You're gonna practice footwork, you're gonna practice basic manners and etiquette, and you're gonna learn how to do suburi, or how to swing the sword, shinai, or bokuto. Bokuto is the wooden sword. So first, let's look at those. This is the bokuto, or boken. It's the sword that is used to train proper cutting technique, and it is based on a katana, or the traditional weapon of the samurai. They come in varying weights and sizes as well as colors. Some are really heavy and are used for endurance practices. This one is one that I use regularly, but I actually have a couple of them to allow other people. As you progress in Kendo, you learn to use this one as well as a shorter one that's used for learning kata, or the routine cuts and techniques used in Kendo. This is similar to kata in karate or iaido. The next thing that you'll need is a shinai, or the bamboo sword. The shinai is what you use during actual Kendo practice to strike each other, as well as for most of your practice. Usually there's 4 flails. These are also vary in length and weight, as well as where their balance is. Even their grip can be different with. I really love this one. This is a shinai that was given to me by one of my teachers. It's particularly heavy and has a large grip. I have rather large hands, so this actually helps me out. It's probably very hard to see, but this one also has dragonflies all along the handle to help with grip, but I really like this. These can be cheap. These can be $15, $16, up to hundreds of dollars, depending on who made them and where they come from. Once you have your basic footwork done, you're beginning to learn how to do the strikes, the etiquette, the suburi, you'll be asked by your dojo, if you're deciding to continue, to buy the clothing. The clothing, or kendogi, used in Kendo has 2 main components. The first is the kendogi. The kendogi is the top portion of the Kendo uniform. This is my kendogi. It's synthetic mesh, so it's not actually full cotton. It's more of a jersey material. I've had this for a little while now, and I really like it because it breathes really well, which is very important in summer practicing in Japan. Also, this material can be washed in the washing machine, and it won't lose its dye, and it can be dried outside very quickly. If you're practicing only once a week, the heavier traditional ones are fine, but once you start practicing more often or have longer training sessions, you'll need to wash these for sure. And being able to dry them quickly is really important. The other part of the Kendo uniform you'll need is the hakama. These is the bottom half, and it's a pleated skirt-like pair of pants. They cover from your waist down to your ankles, and when worn properly, they cover almost to your feet. These can be really warm or really cold. This one's fabric as well is a synthetic with the pleats preset, so that I can dry them and wash them really easy without having to worry about the dye coming out. So what I'm gonna do real quick is I'm going to change and allow you to see what these look like when they're on. So here we go. Whew. All right, so now I'm changed into the kendogi and the hakama, which can be seen from my waist down. This is a traditional attire used for practicing Kendo. These are a dark navy or a dark blue. Aizome, it's a type of dye that's used traditionally in Japan. There's lots of different reasons why they used it, but this dark blue is the traditional color. I have seen people wear all white, young girls, university women. Sometimes you'll see a white top and a blue bottom. I have seen black before, but that's usually someone who does iaido and maybe forgot their hakama that day. In Kendo, it's like fencing in that there are places to strike which will get you a point, but it's not fencing. That's not the main purpose. When you're doing Kendo, the 4 main places that you can be struck are the kote, the hand, the min, the head, the do, the torso, and ski, which is a thrust at the throat. If practicing with someone doing naginata, you can also have the legs or the sune, which cover your shins. But traditionally in Kendo, you just have the first 4. Min is the most common of those and what you'll probably practice the most when you're learning Kendo. Kote is the next most common. Then after that, do. Usually for younger people like junior high school or elementary school students, they don't learn ski or the thrust to the throat. This can be very important because that can be semi-dangerous, as you could expect someone coming at you with a large object at your throat. Even people who have been practicing their entire life can find that just min, or the attack to the head, is the best thing to practice. For the first couple weeks of Kendo, this is all you might wear and use the shinai and the bokuto to practice your suburi or strikes. As time goes on, your dojo may ask you to pick up a full set of armor and wear them periodically. When I started with the kote. The kote are the hand guards or protectors that are used in Kendo. They go from your fingertips all the way down to your wrists. And they are very interesting in that the outside is quite hard, and you would think that you would still get hurt, and at first it might, but later you don't even really notice unless someone comes along that's really crazy good and pops you when you're not expecting it. These can be cheap or expensive. I know that whole sets of the Kendo equipment can be just a couple $100s to several thousands of dollars. So these are where I started. As I progressed along, I learned how to wear the tare. The tare here is the belt or waistband that you use in Kendo. And it has 3 main flaps in the front, one to protect your groin and one on each side to protect your hips and upper thigh. This is similar to what's an obi. It's a belt that goes around. When I was learning how to do just kata, and when you're doing kata for a test, you typically wear just this. As you can see on the front, it has my name in katakana, or the phonetic alphabet used in Japan for foreign words. Normally at the top, there's a dojo name, federation, or where you belong. This is called a zekken or nafuda. And right now I don't have my one with the name on it because I just got this, and this is my temporary one. I just slap on the dojo label at the top when I'm practicing. So this is the do. The do is the hard torso body armor. This can be made from plastic or it can be made from bamboo. In that case, it tends to be really expensive, but this is what protects you from getting struck in the stomach or abdomen, as well as the upper chest. The last piece of equipment that you typically wear in Kendo is the min. The min is what's put on your head to protect your face, as well as the top of your head, the side of your head, your collarbones, and your throat. This is where you get struck in Kendo probably the most. This can also vary in thickness in the top, how many millimeters, as well as the stitching to really change the amount of padding you've had. As you progress in Kendo, you will wear all of these and for longer periods of time. Inside of the min, you actually wear what's called a tenagui, or a Japanese linen hand towel. And this ties around your head to help secure this, as well as to take sweat away and to maintain the placement of the min. Recently, with the outbreak, we have been asked by the Kendo Federation to wear a plastic guard. So if you listen, there's actually a plastic guard to keep particles from leaving your mask. Also inside, we tend to have a mask where we tie around our face as well to help keep particulates or items from leaving our face mask when we practice. Unfortunately, right now, There are no practices for me. The dojos are all closed because public gyms shouldn't be open in order to help protect everyone. So this is a basic outline of what Kendo equipment is and what you would need if you're looking to start Kendo. If you're new to Japan and you want to take up Kendo, I strongly suggest that you go for a Taiken or an experience and go and watch. Contact the dojo if you can. In Osaka, there's the Shudokan, which is at the Osaka-jo Castle. There's the prefectural gym. There's several other Budokans that are around Osaka City or Osaka Prefecture. I know Kyoto has them. And when they're open, you can just go and watch. There are lots of great videos. And recently, the 8th Dan, or like the highest of the high-level tournament, took place in Nagoya. And it was a one-day tournament, and it was really amazing. There's some links to that online that are really easy to find. If you are interested in Kendo, please look up some videos and check what they have. And you know, it's a great way to learn about Japan, Japanese culture, and as well as get a great workout. So remember, Kendo, while it isn't a sport, it can be super fun and it can be super interesting. Kendo is a lifelong activity, and it doesn't matter what age you are, anybody can pick up Kendo. Disabilities or not, your dojo can help you out. So that's all for today. Thank you for joining me for What Can Be.